Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Norman Michaelation. This is I.C.A.C. Unpacked. I want to tell the story of a young man, but unfortunately, his story, the bulk of it has to wait because it's a work in progress. And so it's still being adjudicated, working its way through the system. But I do want to show what he shared with me from various places, particularly Reddit. He sent me some items which I think you'll find very useful because what it does is it shows exactly what the police do to instigate a crime. This is even before they have set up the elaborate scheme where they work a crime around somebody in these proactive stings. What they do, in effect, here is not even as good as trolling. It's more in common with try it again, pretextual policing, where they are going out there and they are um, looking at for people who are Hispanic, or if they smoke weed, or if there's a bunch of people in the car, or if they smell weed, rather, if they have typecast them in any sort of way in their scenario, that is what they're going after. And it's the same way here online. Police are simply taking valuable time and public money, hanging out, trying to create a scenario that gives them the pretext to weave the scheme and capture somebody by entrapment. That's what they're doing. It's very simple. It's very clear. When you see these texts, you have to wonder, these exchanges, why is this police officer, who I'd very much like to give his handle or whatever it's called out there, again, what's ironic with me is I was accused of doing something I didn't do, and there's no evidence I did it. But again, what they did is they wove a narrative. They told a story based on what they could see, twisting things around to make it appear to be one thing when it was actually something else. Here, at least, you have sexual talk, but it's among people who are actual adults or teens, and they're talking appropriately to each other, adults with adults, teens with teens. And you have this cop inserting himself into the conversation for no apparent reason. There's no investigation. If there is, it's a very strange investigation because the cop seems to be egging these people on to give him something, some angle where he can push them or pressure them to do something. So typically, as you may remember, a police officer will get on here and say, hey, I'm 19 and I want to get together, my sister and I, with some guy. And then you find out later the sister is 16, according to what they say. And if you don't immediately disengage, or you express frustration, or you're annoyed or angry because you wasted 100 messages thinking that you were led to believe that this was somebody of a certain adult age, and now you're angry, well, they use that as a pretext to continue the conversation. And again, if they were real pedophiles, they have a very different way that they go about things, as police will tell you. But what they're doing here is they're trained specifically to keep the conversation going just enough so that they can get that narrative. They can get those 5 steps that I've outlined in my email, my videos here, and have gained through my talk to a lot of people, either over Zoom or through emails around the world. I've gotten a lot of information about this from a lot of people all over the place. So let me start by sharing these. Now I'm going to have to share one screen at a time. I tried this video before where I just flipped through them and it would not advance through each of the slides. So I'm going to try to do it one by one here. Hopefully I can get it. So here's one popping up right now. And this is on NSFW, a Reddit subreddit that this person sent me. Gay Indiana's only. There's some from Ohio and stuff on here too. Gay Indiana's 31 male. If this post gets 100 upvotes, I'll post a naked selfie. What would be the investigation here? It was so raw, apparently, that it was deleted by the Reddit people. From what I understand, they're pretty sensitive. They got some strange rules. And here is what he gave a little smiley face. He's looking forward to it. Elsewhere, what he will do is he will talk about other types of copy that he has out there that also gives you something that you can look at here. I'm going to try to share another one here. I'm going to have to do it one by one, I see. Okay, here's another one. And this one is our gay Indiana only 30. Any good boys around? Again, deleted by the Redditor people. It says, what does good mean? Okay, he's got a number of comments. What does good mean? That sounds very suggestive. What do you think it means? What does good mean after all? Well, it means quite a lot, but here it means something sexual, of course. Here's another one. I apologize. I don't know any other way to do it than click out and then click back in. Here's another one on a subreddit. I can't quite read what the subreddit is, but you see the person saying, runaway something, and it says a post has been removed for violating the rules. Okay. So, but certainly the cop responded to that as well. Okay. So again, another one up here. Okay. You see this one coming up here. And can any girl help me out in Indiana? Again, this is another subreddit. N NSFW, okay, single female. All right, hit me up. I'm bored. Still bored. Yeah. And I can't read the last one on there. Again, I apologize. We've taken great pains to sort of, hide who we're dealing with here because it is an active case. All right. Here's another one that's a little clearer to read. Yay for the weekend. This is under the subreddit Teens Meet Teens, where you'd expect teens to be talking to teens, not adults. Well, this was removed by the moderators, but not before you had your guy having something to say about it. And he was on here as well. Okay. So his post on here, this is the cop, was removed by the moderators as inappropriate, apparently. Okay. So I apologize, folks. I hope that this works out. This is like my third or fourth time. Here's one. NSFW dildo alternative, whatever that means. Okay. I kind of want a dildo because I'm kind of gay. Do you guys know anybody who can help me out here with this one without my parents knowing, or any good alternatives? And of course, me is our cop. LOL. 127 comments that were in this thread. Why is a cop giving advice to a teenager about dildos of all things? Why? What would that possibly, how would that possibly make the tiniest bit of sense after all? Okay. Here's another one. 25 male for female from the Lafayette, Indiana one. Post was deleted by the person who originally posted it, but not before our cop here said, hey, I'm out there. I'd be interested. Okay. So we have that one that we can look at. Here's another one. Let's see. Too afraid to ask. That thread, that subreddit, swallowing sexual fluids okay? Well, this post was deleted by the person who originally posted it, but according to our cop, I hope so. The cop says, that's nice. That's what we want cops to be doing, spending time on there talking about this to teenagers or whomever when they're not investigating an actual crime and they're not looking at anything in particular. Odd question. How do you know if you're really gay? I am just learning, the poster says, more and more about the fact that I think I'm gay. I have messed around orally with a few guys, but not willing to go all the way. I still at times find girls attractive, and if a girl wanted to do stuff, I would. Have other people had this feeling too? I feel that some days it is stronger than others. Is that normal? 11 responses, and 3 of them are from this cop. And later on, you'll see, perhaps if I remember to mention it, that he's a super poster. He's got 26 up posts here, 12. This is a guy who spends an awful lot of time just kind of even pre-trolling, pushing and prodding to see what he can find, some angle he can go after people. And according to him, that's just being bisexual. And then he goes on, labels are dumb. If you want to be with somebody and they want to be with you, do it. No need to agonize about it. So I guess it doesn't matter the age, encouraging people to go after anybody. And then he says, after saying labels are dumb, he promptly says bisexual or hetero romantic is a thing, thereby providing a label. Okay. I don't know why he's going about doing this necessarily, but he is. So I'm going to stop sharing here because I'm not sure I'm being successful. I'll start again here, trying to do some sharing here and see if we can find some more and see what they might actually look like here. What's interesting about this is you have this police officer who is going about this really in the most incredible way. And I don't know why he thinks that this is totally okay, but he's doing it. How about this one? Oopsies. This is a story. Maybe I should start giving diva, whatever that means, near my family. I guess it's some sexual reference here. He says, my older sister is extremely Christian and homophobic. I told my parents they weren't happy. Thankfully, they're not suspecting anything, but I think I should only do it, whatever that is. I think this is on masturbation or something from now on. The cop responds, yeah, I'm going through this too. I live with some fosters who are super Christian and was thinking about coming out to them, but I don't know how. Now, again, why is a cop on a teen site talking to teens about this? And then he responds here, isn't that just a bad idea? Well, who knows if it's a bad idea, but you do have to wonder, why is it a good idea for cops to be on these sites just doing as they do in pretextual policing, hanging out just to see what they can see? It seems pretty wrong, actually, that they're doing that. Okay. Here's another one. Reddit, ask teens. Do you think, guys, do you guys think, excuse me, a junior and a freshman is bad? I guess hooking up or getting together. Advice. He talks about a crush. He's 15 and, or I'm 15, excuse me, and he's 16. Okay. And his brother, her brother said, don't do it because there's a big difference between a junior and a freshman. And what does our cop say? What's his advice? He says, no, that's totally cruel. Cool. Excuse me. It is cruel. I hooked up with a few people older than me before, thereby pushing these two to get together and possibly pushing them to go even lower and make a greater disparity in the ages. Again, regardless of what you think about the advice, what's a cop doing on there when there's no investigation in progress at all? Like all the proactive stings, there was nothing going on in progress. There was absolutely no reason for him to be on this site. None whatsoever. Absolutely no reason for him to be on the site at all. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing here and see what else I can find here. Again, I'm hopeful that we're making something useful in my sharing. Okay, so here's another one. Who's trying to help with this? And of course, the dirty picture, whatever it was, has been blocked out by Reddit or otherwise not available. And the cop says, damn, what sort of investigation would damn be a part of, right? What are they doing on these sites, trolling like this? What possible pedophile urges are they arresting on here? They're entering spaces prohibited by the Fourth Amendment and even the Fifth and the 14th and even the First, and just hanging out and participating in conversations, not as private citizens, but as officers of the law, because we know that this officer netted a number of people. So what are they doing on there? On their own private accounts or on their official accounts, sometimes they will use one or the other or both. Why are they on there? Why isn't that alarming to people? If somebody knocked on your door and said, I'm a cop, let me in, and sat on your couch just to observe what's going on in your house, you'd have a shit fit. We have people all over the country who are being chased by ICE agents through strawberry fields, hanging out at courthouses, showing up at elementary schools, at Little League games, etc., interfering with the legal activities there without any regard for the people, for the American way of life, for anything that is legal, looking, waiting, and coercing people to create an environment whereby they arrest those people. Why? Why are they doing that? Under what pretext do they have to make such a bold move? It's the same sort of thing here, in my opinion. This is one of the most disgusting pictures, and I apologize in advance. This is clearly in a up in I don't know, an aisle in Costco or something. I don't go in Costco very often. Obviously, some kind of chemical agent that they put on the floor to clean up some mess or something. But here it says, "Clean up aisle 5." Looks like a guy's one. All right, obviously referring to seminal fluid. I met online once. Everywhere, right? Again, what do we want our cops to be doing, folks? Is this something we want them to be spending taxpayer dollars doing? Hanging out online? Again, they're not investigating a crime. There are no children in danger. There's nothing going on. There's nobody hitting up children. They're going on probing and poking and looking behind closed doors, snooping around against people who are just engaged in their average and ordinary life without any reason for this whatsoever. Okay, here's another one. Huh. NSFW. What do you think about while giving a blowjob? I don't think I need to clarify it. And but the cop apparently thought there was clarification necessary. I actually like doing it. I think they love it too. Don't like him when he pushes my head down, I think is what he meant to say there. Why is the cop signing off on that? What would be the reason? Except perhaps trying to gain somebody's trust as a pretext for arresting them after they spin and weave this elaborate scheme. And if you trust somebody, folks, you're going to allow them to do a number of things because you think that they are an adult or they are like you, explaining a fetish or something and engaging again in legal activity. The activity is not illegal. It's only when the cops introduce a illegal element into it, then you, unsuspecting, can be ensnared in that. Is it morally okay to masturbate to your friends? Ethics and morality question on a subreddit. It feels wrong. I'd be disrespecting whoever it was, but porn is bad for you and your imagination. You're bound to conjure up someone that looks like a person you've seen before, yada, yada, yada. And 280 responses, of which the cop has won. No, I've given pics for it before. Again, why? Why is this cop talking about this? Why is this a thing for this particular cop? Here's another one. NSFW, male and female for a female. This is a clear setup. Looking for my girl to have her first experience with a beautiful woman. Girl, woman. Now, of course, this is where it gets suspicious because many men will refer to their woman, their female companion, their girlfriend as my girl, especially younger men. To have our first experience with a beautiful woman. Is that code? I don't know, but they've used these things before and revealed after 100 messages that the girl is actually a girl. My girlfriend is looking for a lovely lady to have a good time with. If you're interested, I know she would love to speak with you. To which the cop, egging everyone on, always wanted to try. And we've seen before, like on Kick, for example, cops will be the one posting these. And they are aware of the identities of the other cops on there who are helping to spin the plates for them. Okay? It's disgusting. It's ridiculous. And it's harmful. and it violates the Constitution, but they're getting away with it. And of course, trolls and others are happy to let them get away with it. Let's look at a couple more. I only have a couple more left, I think. So here's another one. Ethics and morality. When it comes to sexual accusations, is guilty until proven innocent. Is it? I guess. I've noticed when somebody is accused of sexually violating someone, people assume they're guilty. Well, yeah, if you're sexually violating under the law, that is, not simply penetration, it can be illegal, of course. Not for me, says the cop, especially when it is some that people think is better than you. I guess when it is someone people think's better than you, I guess that's sort of a revenge sex kind of thing. I don't know. Feel free to comment on that. I think I've got one more here that I'm going to be able to share. And hopefully, again, hope it shows up. So we have here, ask teen boys. Okay, so ask teen boys. Nothing illegal about an adult asking a teen boy something, depending on what it is, of course. How actually easy is it for guys to get a boner, an erection? Boys answer only. I know guys get boners multiple times a day. In the morning, do they actually get them when a girl touches their shoulder or when they see cleavage? I'm just curious, LOL. To which 349 people respond, and too easy for me, says our cop, because I guess that's part of a legitimate investigation. I'm not sure. So here you see a police officer, a sworn law enforcement officer, not investigating a crime, not involved in public safety, not saving a child, but poking and prodding around sites for legitimate users who are minding their own business, who are engaged in their First Amendment rights, and inserting themselves into these subreddit threads for the purpose of trying to stir things up. For what purpose? So they can arrest you, so they can get you into one of these schemes, whip that 5-point program around. They develop a persona, a decoy. They claim it's above age or the appropriate age, and then they throw in some random thing that puts the conversation on a path to illegality. When the person who responds doesn't respond as you trolls think by saying yummy, but acts confused. I don't understand why you're saying this. You said for 100 messages that you were an adult and now you're claiming to be a child, and you're claiming that this girl is not your girlfriend of a 20-something as you told us, but she's really 15. And what's up with that? And then the cops come and arrest you later. And some of you guys think this is perfectly fine with it. And when I point this out, you call me names and you attack other people that I defend who are too afraid to come out from behind their keyboards, or who have active cases like this gentleman does, or other people. And yet, interestingly enough, when people who are high or mighty, who have badges and in government, or they are even local, as some of these people are, but well-connected, and they get away with actually having sex, where are you, pedo hunters? Okay, where's the outrage about this? It's nowhere. And you know why? Because that person got away with it, with the law allowing them to, and somehow you think it's okay. So you gave up your fight in advance. You have to wonder, how badly do you really want to protect children if, when real people are excused by the cops and by the system for having real sex with real children, you're good with that. You're okay with that. Yeah, you're fine. Hit me back with what you think. This is pretty incredible. This is Norman Michael Asian. Have a good day.